Hi, my name is Tony Gapastone, and I'm the writer and director of the short film 1440 and Counting.
And my name is Ola Soler, and I'm the producer.
And we are going to share our behind-the-scenes footage. It's been a year and a half since we've been on set, and we are finally getting around to looking at this behind-the-scenes footage and doing some commentary about it and sharing it with you.
Yeah, so come and join us for the next 20 minutes.
Or as Loretta would say, they're turning it up. You guys weren't even married yet.
Yeah, we were not.
Kind of fun. Were you engaged at that point? I forget.
We were not, no.
Okay. Here's the classroom. Ned doing all his setup there. That was a really cool space that we got. We got that hooked up. Look, I got a coffee. One of like...
What are you drinking, Tony?
15 coffees. Hey, if you don't know Ned Kopp, look him up. He is an amazing guy. He's got a lot of credits on IMDb. There's Omar Del Rio.
Yep.
He was our unit production manager. He jumped on, I forget, we met him on a photo shoot, actually.
Yeah, you guys met at the Spectrum magazine, right?
He got us on the front cover, or helped us get on the front cover. Darcel doing the boom mic on the left there. I really liked him. I want to work with him again.
He was such a positive guy,
oh, man.
Really.
By the way, something is going crazy with my hair on this day. I don't know what the problem was. But this is in the parking lot in East Palo Alto. Of Brentwood Academy, and they were really gracious to us to let us use the whole facility. And this is like, I don't know, what time is it? 7 in the morning? 6 in the morning? 7 probably.
Yeah, 7 in the morning. Everybody's arriving. People are setting up. Camera people.
Red cameras is what we shot on.
Yeah.
That's JJ working with Omar there. Here's the prop table getting set up. Lots of things going on. Loretta in the makeup chair. She's so fun. We had a great connection with that company called Little Giant, and the crew, man, they just worked so hard. I was so overwhelmed.
Who's that?
This is my buddy Josiah Akinyele, and I think here we can actually let it go because we talk. 3 months ago, I told him about the Kickstarter campaign, and he looked at me and said, "What'd you say?"
I said, "Let me know when you get the money because I have Mrs. Nickel."
He has my Mrs. Nickel, and so it's all him. So he came to visit. How cool is that? Hashtag set life.
Hashtag set life.
And he's here encouraging me and reminding me that I can do it because I'm overwhelmed. This is crazy. I feel like I'm like, what do you call that? Like, over my head.
Yo, something.
Whoa. But he's here to encourage, and it's been awesome.
Yes. He's a good man. A good man.
All right, I remember this day being really sweltering hot too. Do you remember? We had to bring fans in. Everyone was hot, but Loretta's having a moment there, which I love.
Fake hair on her head.
Oh, she had to have that crazy wig on her head. Oh, I felt so bad for her. I was like, just hang in there, hang in there. Again, what is going on with my hair? Nobody told me that I had bedhead. I don't think I got any sleep the night before, by the way. That's Matt Mayotte. He was our DP, really good friend of mine, did a fantastic job.
Oh, and there's Hope. I love Hope. And Erica.
Hope on the right hand and Erica on the left there. Hope, and she was so amazing. Lara, she's one of our set decorators. She's actually a teacher herself, and she was super helpful in setting up the whole look of the classroom. AJ was the assistant camera, always pulling focus, and Matt brought him in. He was phenomenal. Over there, one of our art directors, Elaine McIntyre, her and her husband were our art directors, and they were constantly hustling on set. This is one of my favorite pieces right there in the classroom with all the chairs on, turned over. It almost looked like there was kind of like bars and jagged thorns coming up, and kind of visually, I liked that idea that when we saw Loretta as Mrs. Nickel, we saw her behind those bars. That's Mary Mackey. She played the principal. She was actually my teacher, my acting teacher years ago, and I was her TA like over a decade ago. So when Teresa, our casting director, helped get her in for an audition, she nailed it. I knew she was the one. Matt laying out a scene, talking with Ned Kopp, our assistant director.
That must be our director. Tony Gapastione, yeah.
First day, guys, I was losing my marbles. It was so overwhelming and exciting at the same
And
time.
it was a big scene too because
Yeah.
we had a lot of kids come that day. It was a Sunday.
Yep.
So lots of extras. So it wasn't just the shooting of the regular cast, but there was just so much more going on.
Like 50 kids as extras, I think. Our biggest scene. Another coffee in my hand, maybe? Maybe? I don't know. Could be the same one. Darcel was miking her up through her leg because
Whoa.
for whatever reason, it wasn't going to work to do the boom over. So how cool. So here's a picture of all of our extras hanging out.
there you
Angie
go.
Ibarra, hey, in the beautiful orange dress, pink dress there. Lots of people hanging out. So grateful. Again, it was sweltering hot.
Yeah,
in
so this is probably all the parents that
Yes.
brought their kids, and the kids might be just getting ready. Oh, and there's Cameron.
Yep, Cameron, our main little actor boy there. This is me trying to smooth things over. I think we didn't have enough food for everybody too because some kids came early.
Yep.
So here's us setting some of the kids because we're at the school and the scene is taking place after school. So we need to have a lot of kids in the background, a lot of kid noises as if they were playing in the hallways and stuff like that. It was great. I really loved the space that we had in East Palo Alto, and we really wanted to tell the story. Like, this is here's me trying to tell the kids
How'd you play on the playground? In case you don't remember.
That's right. Oh my goodness. They were such good sports though. So cute. People don't really like working with kids on film sets because it's hard, but I liked it.
I love those headsets that we had. Oh my gosh, we felt
Oh,
like
yeah.
such pros.
The ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. I had never shot with a red camera before, so that was fun. I feel like I'm still learning. This was my film school. I didn't go to film school, so I learned how to do all this stuff while doing it. Darcel, again, such a positive vibe he brought to set. That right there is called a slate. There's Cameron running in. He did great for his first time acting on film in that way. He was really great.
How old was Cameron when he did that?
I think 10 at the time. Again, Mary Mackey, look her up. She's a working actor, lives in LA. That's our Gaffer right there.
Yeah, this scene was crazy. I remember we set up that shot for like hours,
Yeah.
hours and hours. Guys, have you ever seen a short film or a clip and you can see the camera and the windshield
reflection,
and the
yeah.
reflection? This is what we're trying not to do. No reflections in the car, and it took like this big thing to cover the car up. It's crazy.
That's Tracey Morris, good friend of mine, photographer on set that day.
And those little details, you know,
Yeah.
again, people just working on the posters, making
Yeah.
the place look real. Oh, and there's my husband.
Israel also did behind the scenes footage, and his pictures, his photos became our movie poster as well. More props. Picture of my father-in-law there with Loretta. He played Mr. Nickel in a picture. Some watches to choose from. Just fun, like things you don't think about, but little details really matter to tell the story. Monica was awesome. She came, she's a friend of a friend. She has her own salon now, and she came on set and gave us 4 days of her time, and she really rocked it.
That might be me.
Was it you?
Yeah.
So this one little scene, this is where Mrs. Nickel is leaving the school, and again, she's retiring, right? So she's kind of having her last look at the school, and it took a couple hours to film this, but really in the movie, it's a really small scene, but we have to get across that she's feeling sort of torn, happy to be leaving, but also sad to be leaving. Terri
Our
Smith,
script
right there, our
supervisor.
script supervisor.
Such an important job on the
Yeah.
set, just to make sure that we're shooting the right scenes at the right time, that we're not missing any lines, everybody's doing their thing.
She also helped a lot with continuity as well. I loved this was a real school, obviously, so I loved all the murals that they had. I wish we could have caught more of those.
And there's Tony. And Tony.
Okay, my hair, people. What in the world?
No, it's Tony looks good. Oh, and there's Anna. Have we talked about
yes.
Anna?
So she is a fantastic. She was our second AD, and she came via DreamWorks, and she came because we connected with Ned, and Ned was the assistant director, and they were just a dynamic duo. So we shot part in the classroom, then we shot back outside, then we went back to the classroom because we had to switch the camera angle. Matt and I have known each other for a long time, and it was really great working with him. We're gonna work with him again on our next film, but he taught me a lot, and I also felt really confident and encouraged working with him. So I liked the relationship with him on set a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how many people were going to continue working on Neighbor.
Yep. It's like when you find people you want to work with them again and again and again, you know? Here's me giving Cam a little pep talk, and look at that hair. He's got the best hair.
And you're worried about your hair.
This is Kat. Kat was our costume designer. There's Lily right there. Kat was phenomenal. We also want to work with her again too. She brought a bunch of looks, and being the costume designer is not an easy job because you're dealing with so many different people.
What's that?
Hey, my daughter! That's my daughter. She played a student, and she loved getting her hair done. She loved being. She had like 2 words, I think, in the film, but she loved it. Again, going back to that visual look in the classroom, you can also see a lot of clocks, a lot of references to time, because the film 1440 and Counting all has to do with the last day or the last 1440 minutes of this teacher's life. We wanted there to be that symbolism throughout the film, so you can see a lot of clocks and watches and things like that throughout the film to communicate that element, that theme. Looking at the monitor here, talking about, you know, how things were framed up and set up. I snuck some C.S. Lewis books in there. You can't even see them.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can't see them on screen, but I thought, you know, she's packing up, you know, the Narnia series, which is kind of fun. Kind of a little personal shout out. I'm very intrigued.
Very focused.
When you watch the film, this is one of my favorite parts because it comes in and it gives the story time to breathe. She's actually like for 20 seconds just kind of packing up her room, and it feels kind of like, whoa, we just went through like a real hard, crazy action start, and then it goes right to her room. It's such an interesting, for me, contrast. Ola, producer. You got a binder in your hand, I think.
I do. I loved walking around with that binder.
That's fine. You're good. You're good at being a producer. They really had a good connection too. Loretta was really fun with the kids. She was singing with them on set and stuff. That was really great.
And that's one of the scenes I think that we mentioned earlier that took so much work.
The exterior scene of the school, yeah. We had to get a bus, which was not easy whatsoever, but somebody donated the bus to us, meaning I think they paid for it and said it's a gift. So this person rented a bus for us. And,
yeah, we rented it. We don't own it anymore.
Yeah. And they gave us the ambulance at the end of the film too. But this part of the film is super, Kisia, this part of the film is super short, but it took us, gosh, half a day, quarter of a day to shoot it. Yeah. Again, 50 some extras.
And I see Adam there.
Yeah, had to make it really feel like it was a real school that was getting out after the day was done. Look at that. On the lift, cool exterior establishing shot. Matt up there, so high, it's crazy. We also had to deal with real cars going back and forth too, which was kind of a challenge.
Yeah, some streets we closed. Mm-hmm. The Redwood City Police Department was super awesome with working with us and allowing us to close some streets for the day or for half of the day, but sometimes it was more difficult. And what's that? That's
this
Redwood
is the apartment,
City.
Yeah, in Redwood City. Jeremy, in his scene, he plays Jose, and he's running to this apartment. This is Mrs. Nichols' apartment, the exterior, and we have a scene where she drives home, and so we had to do a car rig, which is huge. I didn't realize how challenging it was until after the fact to shoot a car scene, and actually kind of dangerous to have an actor drive their own car. But we're so low budget, I was like, Loretta, can you please drive the car? Because normally an actor will get pulled on a trailer, so they don't have to think about actually driving and being safe and filming at the same time. So that was a pretty big deal to do that. We just went around the block maybe like 2 or 3 times. Here's getting ready. Kat is getting our police costume ready. She had a ton of badges to choose from. That's the sound mixer there. That car was perfect. It was another loaner, but it was kind of beat up too. So we were joking like, you know, the car could possibly fall apart, which was perfect for a teacher's car, because, you know, the teachers don't make that much, you know, they're always driving dumpy things.
Yeah. I think after I heard the story, I wasn't on the set that day, but after I heard the stories from that day, it was super interesting. I understand now why sometimes people shoot on sets.
Yeah.
Because the apartment was perfect, but it was a little small.
Yeah, it was small.
And when you want to fit not just, you know, the 2 actors, but you're trying to fit the director and the camera people and the audio
10 people, yeah.
and the lamps and all kinds of stuff.
Huge shout out to the Breens, who had just moved in there like a month before, and they let us totally rearrange their interior apartment. That was really generous of them. But we had to turn the apartment into a day scene, but we were shooting at night. So we had to blare lights in through the window to make it look like it was a day.
Pretty impressive what lights can do.
Yeah.
And I wonder if you guys would notice the difference. Now you have to see it.
Right. You would never know, right? Yeah. It definitely felt so professional. Everyone worked so hard. There's Anna again, did amazing job. She was our second assistant director, which really meant she dealt a lot with the talent and working with our assistant director. Jeremy, we are still close contact, which is so great. He's become a really good friend of mine, which I love. This is shooting at the foster home, the home in which Jesse, Cameron's character, lives. He's actually a foster kid in the system. And this is I think this is our last night.
This is our last night for sure. Yep.
So we didn't have a call time until about 2 or 3, and then we didn't actually start shooting till like 6 or 7 or something.
Because it was more of a night evening scene. Yeah.
But they had to block off the street, right? I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah, I remember how much I appreciated vests that day. Just the reflective vest that, you know, because there were cars and there was traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of rearranging things inside the house to make it look
like it had been, like it had been tattered, like there had been some sort of scuffle there. The people who owned the home were friends of Omar, our unit production manager, and they were, again, gracious to let us rearrange stuff, move couches, that type of thing.
And Adam also did a great job. We just saw him in a blue shirt. He was one of our PAs, always wearing gloves and tape, so important, so helpful. And so clearly we're working with him again.
I have another coffee in my hand.
Tony, what are you drinking?
Probably a white mocha at that time. A triple white mocha.
With no whip.
With no whip, that's right.
Yeah.
These guys were high school students, and they joined on us, I think like day 2 or day 3, I forget, but they sort of joined on last minute, and they were really helpful. And they have a film club at their school or something like that. So we got this given to us. We got an unmarked police car. Was given to us for free, so a shout out to the Redwood City Police Department. That's a real EMT. His name is Jake, and he was one of our featured players in the scene that day. So he came in and wore his own clothes, and that was really helpful because we didn't have to cast anybody or get any costume for that. But it was really important that we would feel that there was some sort of chaos. So the lights were really important. This is the last night here. I'm behind the monitor watching one of the final scenes of the film. I literally teared up watching that scene. All right, well, that's it. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching the behind the scenes footage. Totally amazing what was done. 162 people financially supported the film, but way more than that gave and donated time and hotels and cars and houses. So thank you all for making this film possible. Follow us on the next project, which is called Neighbor. We're really excited for this story to tell, and thank you so much for allowing us to be filmmakers and to make these stories come to life.
Yeah, thank you guys. Hope to see you soon.